what I did is I created a report that lays out the 7 things that most people most commonly do that makes their art look amateurish. And here's the thing about it is, most people whose art looks amateurish, they don't even realize it looks amateurish. And I'm going to tell you my story about that in a minute. But, and it's just because you can't see beyond where you're at in your art, okay? So anyway, what happened for me was I saw there was a local art show, and I entered my paintings, which I thought were the most wonderful paintings in the history of man. In fact, I had price tags like $5,000 on them, and this is way back when I had never really even taken a lesson or anything like that, but I just was sure I was the hottest thing since sliced bread. And really, it had a weird effect on me. First, I was totally depressed about it, and I didn't paint for 3 months because all this time I thought I was much better than I really was. And then finally, it was great for me in the long run because finally I said, all right, if I ever want to become good at this art thing, I better take some classes. So that's when I went and took my first art classes to really get good at painting. Well, I submitted to this art show and I didn't get in. And I was like, what the hey? I couldn't believe I didn't get in. I was really pissed and I was like, couldn't even believe it. And really the guy during it was a pretty accomplished artist. So I decided when the show did come around, because it was a local show, I went over to check it out. And I got into the show and I was just amazed at how good all of the art was in that. And I even have one of my first paintings in there. It's kind of embarrassing, but I thought it was pretty good at the time. In fact, I was probably more proud of that painting than most paintings since, just because I didn't know any different. And eventually I went on and entered the show again, and I got in, and a few times I entered it, and then finally I ended up actually winning that big national show, and then finally, to come full circle, eventually they asked me to jury it. So anyway, it was kind of a funny little story about how I thought my art was amateurish, but it really was. And there's nothing wrong with having your art look amateurish. Everyone goes through cycles as they go through their art development. It's just that most people, when their art does look amateurish, like me, didn't even realize it.
Okay, so what will this free PDF do for you? Well, one, you can just print it out and use it as a guide as you paint along, just to make sure you aren't making these 7 mistakes. And, you might be making 2 or 3 of them, but not doubtful you'll be making all 7, and just help you to get over that hump, right? So it'd be very easy to use it. So the next thing you just do is go to my site, click on it, and put your name in, and I'll email it to you. No charge, nothing like that. And then I'll send you a couple other videos to go with it. All right? Thanks, and have a great day.